All right. Hey guys, what's up? Michelle Elam here. This is Team 3XE. This is our call. We're now doing these calls every few weeks, and it's been really exciting to be able to reconnect with every single one of you every couple of weeks and see how you guys are doing. Join in on, just hear about some of the great things that are happening in your lives and in your business. Hold on one second. Hey, Sienna, can you turn that down? I don't know if you can see right behind me, like they're both. She said, I can't hear mine over your voice. You're going to have to go in the other room then. She's sassy. She is sassy. So lots of great things happening. Kathy, since you're sitting on this call, I have to give you a huge shout out. Kathy invited me to a veterans dinner luncheon yesterday. She was the MC, rocking it out up there, talking to our veterans, giving our veterans all the props, and just shows we've got some amazing leadership on this team. So I'm super, super pumped about that. Let's see here, exit full screen. So one quick announcement on something that was rolled out at Super Saturday that I've been doing a lot of reading about this week. And then our national wake-up call this week really talked about the vital process. And again, for those of you that haven't checked out the national wake-up call, do. The national wake-up call is so awesome for, hey, Carrie, just kind of catching up on what's going on in the business, getting some training, and just there's so much to try to figure out what it is you need to be doing, right? The national wake-up call kind of hones in on what it is we should be focusing on as coaches. And I love this new thing that's called the vital process. And Carrie, I'm sure you have read about this because I know you weren't at Super Saturday, but you went back and watched the video. And the vital process is really just a way to kind of solidify people's growth through Beachbody, right? Because we're always talking about, oh, you got to recruit people. Oh, you got to get people on, you got to get people in this, you got to get Success Club. You got to get people into challenge groups. And it's just like, what am I recruiting? Am I bringing people on board? What am I doing? So the vital process is really great to kind of help you know where your focus needs to go. And the cool part about the vital process is it all starts with getting people results, because we get away from that, right? We get them into our challenge group and then we're like, okay, go ahead, do it. And ultimately those individuals that are in our challenge groups are going to be coaches if they get good results. So it's up to us to ensure that they do that. And so Beachbody has developed the vital process. Hey, can you turn that down again, Sienna? It's so loud in here. I'm so sorry. I'm going to leave. I'm going to change rooms. Bear with me. Okay, so the vital process, see, this is how we make do in this house. It's much quieter. So the vital process is basically, there's 4 steps to it, and this does not replace the vital behaviors at all. This is just something separate. So the vital process has 4 steps. And so the first step is obviously get people started. You attract, you connect, you invite people, and hopefully get them to join your challenge group, right? Giving them exposure to you, giving them exposure to your other challengers and people who are already fans of you. And you do that by inviting people. And there's trainings that I can give you, or there's different ways that you can start inviting more people to your challenge group, building relationships with them. We have a lot of free groups. Kathy has a free group going next week or in the next couple of weeks. So that's one way to just get clients started on their journey. Number 2 is to ensure that they get results. So help them stick to their goals, right? You don't just show up there in that challenge group and post and leave. Set that expectation from the very beginning that you are here to get them results, and you really, really want them to, continue past the 21 days or past the 5 days that this group is going on, right? That you want them to make a true lifestyle change. Once they get those results, then they transition to step number 3, which is when you can start asking them to become a coach. Now, I know most of you on here, Carrie, Kathy, you were a little bit easier, but Carrie, you were a little bit of a struggle. But just asking people after they've been through the program if they want to become a coach and pay it forward or get the disc, whatever they want to become a coach for. But that's the next step in the process. And eventually, the more that they're exposed to what this business can do for them, keep them accountable or earn a little bit of extra income, whatever that is, then they're sold even more, right? They're a loyal coach. And then as their upline coach, your job is to develop and mentor them and help them pass down what you have showed them, right? So that's getting those coaches into Coach Basics groups, giving them training. I'm really all for with the one-on-one, especially those coaches that really want to make a go for it, just really helping them out. And we have a lot of great coaches on our team, but most of our coaches on our team love that personal touch, right? Pretty much all of us like that personal touch. And I think that's super important. So, so that is kind of a new thing that you're going to start hearing a lot more about. Both of you are going to Summit next year. Right? So you're going to hear a lot about the Vital Process next year at Summit, and it'll be super cool. So I'm super excited. All right. I want to move on to something a little bit more important. I guess not more important than the Vital Process, right, Melissa?
Right.
But
very important.
So Melissa is our guest speaker tonight, and I'm going to have to share a little bit of information with about Melissa. She is a diamond coach, right? Diamond coach. And her and I became diamond about the same time, and we met through, when you become diamond, corporate kind of puts you into these groups, these accountability groups, and helps you get more training to kind of continue to push you forward. And Melissa and I were in the same group, and Melissa and I started chatting back and forth offline. Melissa has built her business without any real upline support. And she has built herself to diamond. She's got a very strong team, so much so that she was able to quit her full-time corporate job. She was in sales, probably making, I don't want to assume how much she was making, but I'm sure she was making a hefty income. She was an outside sales person and left her job and is still doing some things part-time, but she's pretty much a full-time coach. And she is awesome. She's got some great systems. If you guys follow her, her social media is on point literally every day. And she's kind of kicked my butt into gear. So we've been helping each other out, holding each other accountable. Anyway, she is a personal development guru, kind of, I guess. And I really, you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but I think when you just hear this from other individuals, something might ring home a little bit more true to you. And I just want Melissa, I asked if she would kind of come on and share her story and talk about personal development. So I'm going to hand it over to her. Here she is.
Thanks, Michelle.
You're welcome.
Thanks, you guys, for having me on. I really appreciate this. I've done a couple of guest spots, and I'm actually doing like a live video tomorrow as a guest spot on somebody else's call. But, as Michelle said, we went diamond together and at the same time. And so Beachbody put us together and learn and collaborate. And I already had a great success partner who was kind of my avatar, right? I was married, no kids, work full time, building, diamond business and really looking to replace my income. And I still have that success partner, but in meeting Michelle and some of the other gals who went diamond at the same time, there was something about her. And I was like, well, wait a minute. She's like a crazy busy mom of 3 and her husband's an Ironman. And we didn't really have a lot of common in that, but I felt that she had a great passion for helping people. And so we've been working together these last several months, just, giving each other what we're not necessarily getting in our own business. And I have definitely embraced the personal development aspect of this business. I didn't have it at first, but I've certainly caught on, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And so Michelle just wanted me to come at you from maybe just a slightly different point of view. Because if you think about it, if you have kids, or if you were ever a kid, right, whatever your mom says, you don't want to do, right? But then when the cool mom down the street says, let's go, eat liver and onions, you're like, yeah. So sometimes that's what it's all about. It's just hearing it from a different perspective. And so I'll give you guys a little bit of background on my story and how I was not doing personal development and how I started to do it and how it really changed my business. And as Michelle said, I have walked away from my full-time income, my full-time job. I didn't necessarily replace my income. But one of the things that personal development taught me was that I have the faith to do this. This was my plan B, and now it is my plan A, and has given me total freedom in my life. Total freedom. So like Kathy, we're talking about the Cubs a minute ago. My husband and I have had Cubs tickets for the last 7 years. And 2 years prior, I maybe went to 10 games because I was building my business. I was sacrificing time away from my family to build this business because I knew that I could do it full time. And this year, I think I went to 45 games. My husband's like, you want to go on Tuesday afternoon? You want to go Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? Yep. I have the flexibility and the freedom to do that. Now, I'm a very frugal person. I will talk to a little bit about that in terms of my personal development and how I get access to my audio and my reading. But I'm free. I don't have to report to the man anymore. And that was what changed big time for me. So as Michelle had talked about, you really need to get your challengers results. And so that's what my coach did for me. I was a challenger for about 6 months. I was that crazy person who had already done a Beachbody program from start to finish before I even knew what coaching or challenge groups was. Okay. So when my coach met me, I was already super healthy and fit. And she said, oh my God, you need to be a coach. I'm like, I'm not going to be a coach. Do you know what kind of life I lead? I don't need to be a coach. She said, well, at least get in my challenge group. I was like, all right. And I was not sold on Shakeology, but I was a challenger in her challenge group for 6 months. And she kept asking me to be a coach. And I finally decided to be a coach, not because I wanted to be a coach, because I'm frugal. Okay. And I was starting to really love my Shakeology, and I knew I could get it for a discount. So then she's like, great. Now you're a coach. Now you can help other people. And I was like, girl, you don't get it. This is not what it's all about. I'm not selling Shakeology to my friends. Are you kidding me? Guess what? 5 months later, things changed for me. All right. My husband had not worked in a year. I had lost my job. I had helped my sister get incredible results with Insanity. She just just help me. And something clicked for me, and that's when I started to build my business. So February of 2014, I got into a Coach Basics training, and that was after 5 months of being a coach and I was posting on social media about it, like, you guys got to try the Shakeology, but I wasn't selling it. And I got into Coach Basics training. I think I hit like SC11 that month. I earned about $250. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually earn real money doing this. And I saw the value of it. I saw that this was something that could I wasn't even thinking of replacing my income, but it was something that could give me the freedom to pay off debt, to do fun things with that money, that kind of stuff. But as I said, I lost my job. My focus was really just not in the right place. And after that first month, I just kind of slid downhill, and I would go back to my coach and I would ask her, what can I do? What should I do? Whatever. And she basically told me to read books. And I thought she was crazy. I really thought she was crazy. I was like, that's not the answer. She's like, no, really, just, And I think I did read GoPro. So that's and I'm going to give Michelle a list of a lot of the books that I've read that I would recommend for you guys. But I think I did read GoPro. So at least I had some conversations around, selling and getting people in challenge groups and getting people, onto the team. But that was about where it stopped. So I started a new job. I'm driving in the car for 2, 3, 4 hours a day. I had 90 days of XM radio, and then they turn it off, and I'm too cheap to buy XM radio. And I'm like, I can only listen to the same 12 songs over and over again. So for some reason, I got Darren Hardy's The Compound Effect. Okay. And I don't know if you guys have read that if you are looking for a book to read, I would definitely recommend The Compound Effect by Darren Hardy. Okay. So I had started my new job in August. I started in June, training in July. In August, I came in and I just killed it. I blew out my sales numbers. September, I came in and I killed it. I blew out my sales numbers. October 1st, they were like, what are you going to do for me this month? And I realized that no matter what I did for this company, they always wanted more. They basically were utilizing me as a tool to feed corporate greed. Okay, on that same exact day, I had a call with a Star Diamond on our team. All right, we did a little thing called Team Cup, Team Spirit, that kind of stuff. It was a 2-person Team Cup, October of 2014. And I said, my business hasn't gone anywhere since February. I haven't hit Success Club since February. I haven't sold many challenge packs. My challengers are falling off. Nobody's joining my team. She says, you need to do personal development. And the combination of those two things, like me recognizing that corporate America was not my answer for the next 20, 30 years, and somebody else telling me that if I wanted to do this, I just had to invest in my own personal development, I did. And you know what? I had 2 and 3 and 4 hours a day in my car. So I plugged in hard. And since that month, I think I've missed Success Club 2 or 3 times. I consistently hit Success Club 5. A lot of times I will hit Success Club 10. As Michelle said, I went to Diamond. And to me, I'm not looking for rank, okay? What I was looking for was a way to help more people feel as good as I did, whether or not that was fitness related or whether that was, to help their families financially. And it has just compounded over time. And personal development has taught me to never give up. Okay. This can be a very lonely business, right? For the last 7 months, I've been sitting in my house all day long, all by myself, because all my friends are still working. It's very lonely. And so I have to listen to books like The Entrepreneur Roller Coaster, another Darren Hardy favorite, to kind of boost myself up, or I have to have weekly calls with Michelle to let me know that it's okay, And if I had not, I will tell you, I would not be here today if I didn't do personal development. So October of 2014, I had been a coach for a year now. That's when my business started, okay? I listened to audio 2, 3, 4 times a day, or 2, 3, 4 hours a day, 3, 4 days a week, okay? By April, I think it was, I had hit enough Success Club points so I earned the Cancun trip, okay? Pretty cool. All right. I love going to tropical vacations. All right. The next year, I took my husband on the cruise. So like Michelle and her husband and my husband and me got to party on the cruise. It was super awesome. So if you guys like free stuff, all right, personal development gets me free stuff, right? Personal development gets me the Success Club prizes, it gets me the points, and it gets me the trips, all right? And the fact that I could take my husband on an all expenses paid trip on a cruise, like he was like, okay, I get it now. Because all he sees is I'm sitting behind the computer talking to all these women. He doesn't get it until he saw all these other successful coaches doing, getting to where we wanted to go. And so I came home from that trip and I realized that this is where I want to be for the rest of my life. And I quit my job. And I've been working hard on continuing that level of personal development. Now I do a lot more reading now than I did before because of just the way I need to get it into my brain. So if somebody looks at me and they say, well, I don't really have time for personal development. Okay, well, I know I do dishes. I know I do laundry. I know I take my dog for a walk. I mow the lawn. Like all these things that, I don't have kids, but there might be screaming kids in the background, but you can have one earplug in and still be getting some information, okay? So audio. So what do I listen to? I listen to the Team Beachbody podcast, obviously, the Shakeology podcast, which is like 5 minutes a month. It's not even a time, commitment. The 2 other big ones that I like in terms of podcasts is Chalene Johnson. I mean, she's just like the bomb, right? So her Chalene Johnson show, as well as Build Your Tribe. Okay. So those are really what I listen to in terms of podcasts. And then I just have a subscription to Audible, or I'm in Chicago. And so we have a public library system that's really very, I pay a lot of taxes for this. And so they have this, and you can probably Google your area, but that you might have something like this where I can borrow books from the library on audio. And about half of the books I buy, I actually borrow from the library. And then I decide if I'm going to buy them later, like if I want to mark them up or anything like that. So what I do now is, and I don't do a ton of sit down reading, but I get up every morning, I do my workout. Okay. Well, it takes 15 minutes for my Energize to kick in. So I get up, I brush my teeth, I put on my workout clothes, I go downstairs, I drink my Energize, and I read 1 chapter of personal development. If there's nothing else, throughout the day. That is one thing that I can do to start my brain in the right way. And then I kill my workout, and then I do my social media posts. And then if I do no other personal development during the day, I know that I'm on track, right? But I want more. So then I plug in my earphones. I might take my dog for a walk, whatever I'm going to do, I'm going to listen to personal development. Hey, Jaylene, thanks for jumping on. So personal development has not necessarily just changed my business. It's changed my whole outlook on life, okay? So I don't know how many of y'all are married, but when I first started coaching, I think I was married 11 years. So now I'm almost 14 years. And at 11 years, they're just like, things can get a little slow. Part of it is the fact that I don't have to work anymore, but now I'm hot for my husband, right? Because personal development has changed me as a person. I got all my Facebook friends, and they're like, how are you so positive all the time? It's the books I read. It's the audio I listen to. And I know when my husband comes home and he's just like super frustrated from work and whatever, I had a great day. I might have been a little lonely, but I had a great day. I helped people. I got some new people in the group. I got some great conversations going. I pumped my brain full of positivity and messages. And I can take all of his negativity and take it on me and appreciate that he had a bad day. And then now we can, he can just get it all out. And then that's it. I'm not bitching about my job. I'm not, sorry kids, I'm on the call. It's changed our relationship, And so people too, like they say, they're like, I will never do a political post. I will never do a complaining post. I will always do something positive. Okay. And so a lot of times I'll take a notebook, or I might have Word open or whatever, and I'm reading something in personal development and I'll write it down. And so what does that do? That starts to develop posts for me, like I might start my posts with, what would you do if you could do it, if you could have a do-over, and then that starts, and that's like a scroll stopper. And then you can craft your post from that, you can create personal development posts of positivity so that attracts people to you. And as a coach, you'll never attract anybody who is more successful than you are. So you have to raise your level of success to attract the people that you want to build their business, right? And so if you think about, I don't know how many of you guys have a team already, right? But if your coach comes to you and says, I need help on inviting, or I need help on, confidence or whatever. My coach did to me? She says, oh, you know what, you need help on this? I would recommend this book. And I'd be like, what? But when you have a large team, you need to have those resources because you can't do it all, right? So whether you have one coach or 10 coaches or 100 coaches, if your coaches come to you and they say, hey, I need help on such and such, you can say, you know what, I read this book last month. I would recommend it. Why don't you go pick it up? And then, let's talk about it, Think of your programs. Okay. If you came in and let's say you just did the 21-day fix, and the 21-day fix is like one of my favorite programs, totally awesome, changed so many people, right? But if that's the only program you ever did, that's the only program you're ever going to recommend, right? But if you're doing Core de Force, if you did size, if you, did Country Heat, all those things, you can experience and share with other people how that's going to benefit them. So when your challenger comes to you and says, I don't really like lifting weights, but I like Zumba. Well, you've done size, you've done Country Heat. You can kind of get a good idea of which one's going to be a better choice for them. Okay, same thing with personal development. When your coaches come to you and they say, I need help with XYZ, if you've only read one book, how are you going to help them? So it really helps you grow your business exponentially by just feeding your brain with that positivity. And I never looked at my notes this whole time, which I just wrote like an hour ago. But let me see if I missed anything. I'm going to give Michelle a list of like a lot of the books that I've read that I would definitely recommend for you guys. The other thing that you can do, a lot of times if I'm reading, like I recently read The Miracle Morning for network marketers. And there were so many great snippets of information in there, and I read it on my Kindle so I could highlight things. And as I'm reading it, I would think of different potential challengers that I was talking to, and I would say, I need to go back to them with this thought. And so it helped me convert more people just by the things that I read in the books. So that's another benefit to personal development. So yeah, it started to, help me hit Success Club, which helped to earn me free prizes, which I always love. And, the trips and just the community and the people that I'm involved in. And my life has changed. Like I was the kind of person that I watched like 7 hours a day. Like I had life. I just do whatever I want. Watch like maybe 3 hours a week. Like Sunday night is kind of like our night to like watch TV. Otherwise I don't watch television. Like I got better things to do. So I'm going to give you guys an action item. If you're already reading personal development or doing audio, I encourage you to do more. Do more. All right. Start with the 10x rule. That will make you do 10 times more, right? The 10x rule just blew my mind. And if you're not yet embracing the personal development bandwagon, it can change your life. I worked for 25 months on my business until I could walk away from my corporate job. It was worth every single hour. And now I can do what I want, when I want, and listen to as much personal development as I want. And it allows me to continue to grow as a person, as a coach, as a business owner. And I just appreciate the opportunity to get on here and share with you guys. Do you guys have any questions for me, or do we have time? I don't know what time it is.
Oh, we're good on time.
Okay.
That was awesome. You are a rock star speaker. Just know that right now. I feel on fire. Alive. That was awesome. Anybody have any questions? I see Mary's on. Hey, Mary Pat. She's not on video though. Yeah, super amazing stuff. Like, I'm so surprised that you just prepared before, because you were able to just fly through that with some amazing content. And this is why I adore you to death, because you're very, very good. And I loved how you mentioned that, again, not looking for rank. You're not an individual that's looking for rank. So many of us get caught up in the ranking thing, like, oh, I got to get to diamond. Now I got to get to star diamond. Oh my gosh. Now I'm down to just coach again, and it's not really about that. Like, I looked at my bank account this week, and, in the coming weeks are some of the highest paid weeks that I've had to date, so it doesn't matter what your rank are. So I'm glad you kind of drove that home. And then you mentioned something too. What did you say? You never attract people who are more successful than you are. So raise your game. So you're attracting even more successful people, right? That's what you said?
Yep. I mean, when I first signed up, let's say I signed up my first 15 coaches, they're all discount coaches. They were my sister and my husband and my friend and and they were like, okay, I'll do it because, you asked me to, and I like the discount too. But you can see the people that I've signed up in the second half of my business and I totally believe personal development has changed, because I attract a different caliber of coach now. My social media posts aren't, hey, do you want to lose 15 pounds before Thanksgiving? And I do those posts, but not that much. My posts are, would you like to have the freedom to go to the grocery store at 11 o'clock on Monday morning when there's not 100 million people around with their screaming kids? Because I just did. Selfie. And I'm going for those people that want that financial freedom. And yes, fitness is going to get them there, but I was never able to have that conversation. And even before I quit my job, the things that my husband and I were doing, we've had massive debt, unemployment does that to people. And instead of looking at it to say, oh, I can pay off debt with my Beachbody income, I said, what are the things that we can do as a family with this fun money, and then use our income to pay off debt? And suddenly it became like something to strive for. And so when you start talking about the income opportunity, people, they listen, and you absolutely attract, at a higher caliber, the more you grow in this business. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I also kind of wanted to throw out a little call to action for you guys. I would love for us to maybe dive into a personal development book together in the month of December. And I was looking up a couple of different ideas, and, for those of you that jump on board with it, I'd be happy to buy your book for you or whatever. I think it would just be awesome for us to just do it together. And there's one that was actually mentioned on the call, on the National Wake Up Call this week. It's called The Go Giver. And I think it's great because we're coming into the holiday season. It's about giving. So it's about this guy that was trying to find success, right? He was an ambitious young man. I think it's a little narrative in parts. And basically he's trying to reach his goals, and he gets really, really desperate. So he goes to this consultant who introduces him to these go givers. And these are individuals that open him up to the power of giving. Hey, Logan, stop yelling, please. And basically it talks a lot about putting your focus on giving, offering value, giving to others without expecting anything in return, and ultimately will lead to something that comes back to you. But it's just all about giving unselfishly, offering value. And I think it would be something like that would be great to read throughout the month of December. So I'm going to open that invitation up. Maybe we can all do that in like a little book club group, and, really dive into personal development. So
can I make a comment about that book?
Yeah.
So I read that book. I love that book. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. One of my coaches introduced me to that book, and she is the most gracious, giving person. And I couldn't believe that after I read it, I was like, this is so her. But I had a coach from a different team contact me this week, and she said, I just canceled my coaching account, and I want to come and be on your team. And I said, I will talk to you. I have no intention of bringing her on board. And in the 30 minutes that I talked to her, I told her to, and her reason was her coach was not helping her. And I said, well, then you need to go to her coach. And in the 30 minutes that I talked to her, I said, if you want to be a coach, you need to go back and you need to sign back up. And you need to go to your coach's coach, because we Googled her and she's totally active. And I'm like, she looks awesome. And I said, you need to have her help you grow your business and help these people. And she said, but you could have, taken me. And I said, I don't want you. And I told her to go read that book. And I said, go read that book and you will know why I told you to read that book, because that act that I did is going to pay me over tenfold. I didn't do it. I could have taken her. I could have said, you got to wait 6 months, but here, I'm going to take your Shakeology orders. And, I'm not that kind of person. And that Go-Giver book gives me that kind of graciousness to be able to do that. And I totally recommend that book to everybody.
Awesome story. Gosh. Yeah. There's a lot of that going on out there too. So we just got to be conscious of all of that, but that's a great story. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you so much. You were awesome to have on the call tonight. So nice to hear from different people. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of the week. Thanks for joining us, Jalene. What are you doing? Are you on a bike? I'm like watching her go like this the whole time. I'm like, oh, yeah, come on, girl, get it. What are you doing?
Yeah, that was great. That was seriously, I needed this. So thank you. I just jumped on. I didn't want to do my workout. I'm like, I'm going to get on the bike and listen to this call. So thank you, both of you, for saying that. And Michelle, I'm totally in with the Go-Giver. I just listened to the call yesterday, and I'm like, hell yes, this is the book I need to read next. And I'm going to finish the one I'm reading now, but I'm in for that. That's a great idea.
Cool. Yeah, I think it would be great if we just kind of all read through it and checked in every day. So we'll get that rolling. Julie and I have a lot of cool stuff we want to get going for this coming year. So
yay.
Thanks, Melissa.
Hey, Michelle.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for taking the time to jump on. I really appreciate it.
Yes,
Hey,
Kathy.
So I have a question. So the wake up calls, how long are they available on recording?
Unlimited.
Forever.
Oh, okay. So you can go back and watch or listen to some. Okay.
Yeah.
So because they're on Monday, of course, during the peak of my morning week or, at work. And so
I never listen to it live. You can podcast, just get the podcast. Do you have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, just download it as the Team Beachbody podcast, and you can listen to every wake up call for the past 5-6 years.
Okay, because Mary Pat and I were talking about this. that this week of how we were going to get connected and get on those wake up calls.
They're
Game
so
changer.
powerful. Yeah.
They are.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep. All right. Well, good to see you all. Have a wonderful rest of the week. We'll see you soon.
You too. Great call.
Thanks, Mayor Pat.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Fist bump.
All right. You guys.